Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Phil Carew Show. Do you know what? I am actually really excited and honored to be able to introduce you to this lovely gentleman here. Oh, I have been waiting for. I've been so patient with being able to. I know it's been hard, being able to try and balance things out with things, but I've been really patient, and I feel really honored once again to introduce you to Donell. Oh my goodness, Donell, you're not just a business guy. I know that for a fact. Donell Morgan here. What I'd like to explain to you guys before I ask him some great powerhouse questions here is that he's not just a business guy. He's also an MC. What a talent! Goodness me, business and music. Now, what is your journey, Donell? Just to introduce you to the Phil Carew Show, Donell Morgan, everybody.
Hello, people. Hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Basically, I'm a musician. I've been doing music for 20 years now, and I also help people. I've been doing for the 6 years, helping people to get more health conscious within themselves. So I'm making to realize what's priority in life and putting themselves know their self-worth and to believe in themselves and elevate themselves to where they need to be.
Oh wow! There must. So, what's your backstory? How did you manage to get into to business, and then afterwards, was it the other way around? Was it did you get into business first? Did you always have an entrepreneurial vision, or was it music first? Which way round was it?
It's always music first, but when everybody's a student of life. We're always learning lessons and learning from them. So I was always doing music, putting music first before everyone. So before ravers, so I'm going to entertain, and I'm going to after parties, and I'm going to next after parties, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to stay awake, drink Red Bull. I was addicted to Pole Plus as well. So that was my cycle. Way back, my mindset was different, and then basically it just started to build up into things started to hit the fan. Like I nearly lost my life, not taking my health seriously. So when you out there as a musician, you're out there just eating fast food. You do your set, fast food. You're not really maintaining, you're not really fueling yourself wisely. You're just thinking constantly on the go. And yes, it's a knock-on effect. And from that, I believe that I'm here for a purpose. I was brought back for a purpose because I have made an impact in so much people's lives. I get so much messages from people telling me I'm helping them to keep going, believe in themselves, look at their situation from a different angle. And it's amazing.
No, it's great to hear that little sort of backstory from yourself, because I know there's always reasons to, back forward track to where you are now, because sometimes people think, oh, these people that come onto my show, there's always got to be a backstory, and it's good to hear these stories like people like yourself, because there's always a purpose. We always have a purpose for something, that we get driven to do to keep us going to what we're doing now, and the other thing is, what I wanted to ask you is, because
I never answered your question properly though. You asked me about so basically from the business point of view now, from the products, I was very skeptical, but how we found business, me and my partner, my fiance, we went 3 miscarriages in a row. So basically that's where it started from. It wasn't wasn't know about this business or the products. So basically I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy as you imagine. I was emotional. I was working, just trying to keep myself busy. The way I channel it, I just channel it into my music. Everybody channels it differently, into alcohol, into hard drugs, but I channel it into my music because I'm a songwriter. So basically, I put that pain into music, and then the outcome to help people enjoy themselves. So I put it as a positive, negative into a positive, and that's what I would say. From the business point of view, I was very skeptical. as you know, us men tend to be skeptical, and you see like things thinking that ain't gonna work, because the way we actually conditioned from young, go to old school, go college, all them kind of things there, go work, and everything's B's and E's. Well, it's not. It's not. When you're working with someone permanently, you're constantly asking, can I get time off to do this? Can I get time off to do that? End of the day, working, you need to provide for the bills and basically be able to live your life. But end of the day, it's putting yourself first. It's important. Yes. And from the business point of view, it's all about stories. When you listen to stories, you relate to it. I was the kind of person, I was basically listening to some stories. I couldn't really relate to certain stories, but when I heard one story, don't know if you heard of his name, Alex Webb, Rest in Paradise. He was told from young, basically, he's not going to amount to nothing. He's not going to reach that age. You know what I mean? So that literally, that kind of woke me up. I was like, okay, I can see the bigger picture now. And I said to my partner, now she's already in the business, isn't it? And I said, okay, now I can see the potential. I can see the potential. I can relate to the story. You see what I mean? So when you go into the story, you can see that, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
So what happened? I got an email that I'm part of the business. I went, wait there. I thought she was doing Amazon. I thought like to surprise me. I was thinking, wait there. So you asked me for them details to sign me up. And I'm grateful for it because I've been doing it for 6 years and I've made an impact in so much people's lives. I've got my mum and dad in the business. Got my cousins in the business. So a lot of people like inspiring them, and every time I do it, I'm always thinking out of the box. How can I inspire someone to not give up and throw the towel in? That's every day.
That's great. That's great. You know, I'm all for people that find different ways to support their family and themselves, because I don't think that everyone seems to feel that you should have to conform to the old school ways where everything has to be done in a particular way, as if it's like a textbook, where I mentioned this to numerous guests before in the past, getting married, buying a house, the car, buying something new that's materialistic, that has no sense of value in terms of being able to be used as often as it should be. And lastly, or should I say, I'll retract that back, actually, that's second to none, paying your bills.
Definitely.
And all those things I mentioned, I think it's good to have an insight of what could be possible, you know, and having an option, because having options, you know, that can monetize, you know, things that you're doing. You know, the good thing about it with it, most type of businesses that you're involved in, and the business that you're involved in, and even other things that other people that I know that they're involved in, whether if it's health, fitness, and finance, anything like that, and it's got a product that can enhance your health and that will either better your life and even make a living out of it at the same time, you know, for bettering your health, you know, in that case. But I also understand that it's also good to go out there and not just search, but also make sure that you make a decision through, you know, getting more information, you know, because sometimes I've come across this, and you probably have in the past, you do become skeptical, you know. You can't really deny that, you know, because there's been a lot of others where they try to replicate similar things, but they replicate maybe a different value in terms of what they want from you and what suits you, what suits them, you know, if you're the right type of person that suits your business, which I like. You know, it's good to have a business that you feel that you're being able to have someone that actually suits each other and complement each other, rather than have someone where you feel that, I've come across it before with businesses where they'll try and approach you in indirect way, where you ask them a question and then they'll sidetrack the other with a different answer. When you think, well, you haven't actually answered my question, you've just gone around it and not really answered it. And I thought, well, hang on, am I going to entrust this? But then when you see it from another perspective as well, because obviously my background is sales, past tense, people have a script, but that script doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to utilize that script. It's a guidance. You know, you can go outside that, isn't it? It's more of a little insight of what you're doing, but then after that, the majority, the higher percentage of that is your personality.
Definitely.
Because that's why a lot of people tend to think, if you're buying a product and people think, oh, they're going to buy it because it does this, it does that. Yes, that helps. The product has to have, number one, functionality. And then second to none, it's how the person presents it with it, because then it creates a bigger impact. If you get the right person and you got the right product, you got a awesome combination, then more likely to get a higher result and a better outcome from it, rather than someone that thinks that they're going to sell something to you because they want to take the money off you, which is part of business. But at the same time, if you've got the wrong approach, they're more likely to say, nah, I'm not interested.
Because you know what it is? It's a bigger picture what I'm doing. Like, I believe it's a bigger picture because I'm actually making an impact in people's lives around the world. And giving people the extra push to know that, okay, I can get myself on track. I might be not at where I need to be at the moment, but end of the day, it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Yes, true.
You know what I mean? So literally that's what people need to understand. And when I'm trying to make more kings like ourselves aware, stop keeping things to yourself, because I know that's a lot of men trait, because that's what we're taught to do. Like, oh, don't show your weakness, all the kind of things there. It's like, I'm trying to inspire them to, like, you know what, we need to start talking to each other more, uplifting each other, because the women do it, you know what I mean? But end of the day, it's just women, men tend to find it hard because they think it's weakness, but it's not. You know what I mean? Because end of the day, we're only here for a certain amount of time. So we have to just make it count. That's why I'm on the mission to build a global army around the world, disabilities, whatever nationality they are, to help them to have longevity with their families, and also to be able to pass it on to their families, because this business is also willable as well. It's 52 years old. The products are over 42 researched. So basically, there's a lot of things going into the company. Actually wants to inspire people to take their health as priority. Because at the end of the day, we need to have fruit and veg in the system. So all it is fruit and veg encapsulated in capsules. So basically, it's harvested, picked at the right temp, when it's ripe, taken to a factory, and it's closed in vegan capsules, and the water and sugar's taken out of it. It's just natural. Bioavailable, goes straight into your bloodstream and gets to work. What I mean by bioavailable, your body recognizing what you're inputting in your body.
Yes.
So when I was on these products, I was on muscle mass, all the kind of things there, and it wasn't really doing nothing. It was same as the toilet, or spots on my back, spots on my face. Why? Because it wasn't natural. I was putting in my body. So when you put nothing natural in your body recognizes it. There's no medical claims, but everyone's got different bodies and get different results. That's what I tell anyone. Because at the end of the day, it's just plant-based.
No, I appreciate that. The other thing is as well, what I want to mention is we've covered quite a lot in the short period of time, which I'm pretty impressed. Because usually with some interviews, it's a documentary with myself. But we can go on to sort of another time with this as well, with but the other questions that I like to ask you, actually, which is pretty important, is if you was to have, just to throw you off track slightly, apart from business and music, this is a sort of more of a less personal thing. It's a bit of fun here, Donell.
Okay.
Is if you was to have a superpower, what would you have? If you had any choices, you can have more than one superpower. It doesn't have to have one. You can be one of these sort of multi phenomenal sort of super being, and what would you use it for and why?
I would say Magneto, because he reads people's minds, innit? So when people are keeping the things to behind to themselves and putting on that brave face, he come a brand wider face. You know what I mean? It's literally they're putting on that brave face, but I can hear what they're struggling, and I'll be able to help them people more than them giving up on themselves. But it helps you. It starts in the mindset. When your mindset gives up, everything gives up in your body.
I noticed that on the X-Men that they both can actually read each other. You've got, with, like you mentioned, Magneto, and then you got Xavier. Both of them together, they can read each other because for some reason, even though he can lift things with his, because of his magnify everything with his, like being a giant magnet, but he can also have the extra the leverage that he's got. He can have that kind of power of being able to use his mind, just like Xavier. But yeah, no, that's great.
What I had to think about. I'm just thinking about what I'm trying to achieve. I'm just thinking what kind of relate it to.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. The actual other question as well that I like to ask you as well. If you had an opportunity and a chance, just like this right now, and you didn't have to think about anything at all, and you just packed your bags with your fiance and children and said, you know what, we're going to go to here and this is what we're going to do, where would it be and why would you do it?
That's a tricky. I want to be in Jamaica. That's the only place I've kind of been, so that's a tricky one.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. Somewhere hot. I like hot places.
Somewhere hot. I've already been in Jamaica. I want to like broaden our traveling as well. Go other places.
Yeah, no, good on you. And the other question I'd like to also ask is that, is there, without having to be biased, because obviously I like Filipino food because I've got a Philippine origin, but I also like Thai food and Jamaican food. Okay. I must admit, oh my goodness, it's just something else. You can't. Some people can't explain it, but with myself, it's just gives you that excitement in your taste buds. The moment like it touches my tongue, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason, my taste bud must have obviously changed. Because obviously with the type of food that I've eaten over the years, I have a sweet tooth, but for some reason now I've got more of a savoury taste. Like a sweet and sour kind of thing. I'm on that level now where I can't just eat sweet. I have to have something with a savoury. I don't know what most people say. Why would you say that? I think, isn't that? I don't know if you would believe in it yourself, but I think every few years your body alters. It changes the way it feels every 5 years or something like that. Where your taste buds might change, your behaviour might change, your diet might sort of go from I'm really healthy to I need to maintain that to I've gone downhill slightly and then gone up again.
You know what it probably is? It's surroundings. It's your surroundings. Basically, what you surrounded by, you start thinking like that. You start doing things like I'm a bad background. I had to turn my life around. You might have seen my dad say on a memory post I shared today that he's watching me turn my life around for the better. Literally, that's what it is. If you don't, like, when you're young, you don't realize it's surrounding. It's like you're thinking everyone's probably thinking, nah, you need to be around people that are uplifting you and actually motivating you on a daily basis. Because think about the terminology of being around six apples, rotten apples, and you're the fifth one. So if you're the fifth one, you're gonna be that same mentality. If they're thinking positively, you're gonna be thinking, okay, I can do this. But you got other friends saying, I don't think you can do this, Carew. You know what I mean? I don't think you can do this because they can't see themselves doing it. You know what I mean? That's why I stand by my brand, Wider Face, because it's literally to show people I can be whatever I want to be.
Yeah.
Kids at school getting bullied, they can show the bullies that I'm coming to learn, I'm coming to excel. Wider Face, you know what I mean? And my other part, music.
Yeah.
I'll just keep shocking people because I come with different things. I don't with everything what everyday artists come with. I come with my own style, my own concepts. You know what I mean? So literally, it's all about being yourself, and that's what I'm 100% being.
No, I like that. The other thing is as well is if you had a choice to have a meal with someone, would it be historical or would it be someone, a relative that you knew or good friend? You know, in regards to choosing a restaurant, you know, and where would you eat and what would you talk about?
That's a tricky one, you know. I'm trying to think.
You liking these questions?
that one's got me stumped. I'm trying to think. Sorry
What do you
for
think
the
of the question, though? What do you think of the question, though, Donell?
Yeah, it is deep still. It is deep. Just to think of who you would sit down and what restaurant you'd go to. Well, from an entrepreneur kind of background, it's still on Mother Earth. I'd say Levi Roots. Levi Roots sit down in his restaurant.
Wow.
That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. What would you talk about?
We'll talk about music and generally just the journey to just try and awake people, man. Like, think about things in a positive outlet and stop making people condition your thoughts and entirely condition your thoughts. Yeah.
No, that's good. In regards to sort of also the personal development side of things, because I'm a big, or should I say massive fan of personal development. That's part of my background, which I love to sort of, because you mentioned in mentioning business, entrepreneurship and mindset. Now, having sort of that mindset, what would you say to your younger self? If you was to give a little bit of advice to your younger self right now, what would you say to them?
My younger self is stop trying to get in the game too fast. That's why when people meet me, generally, I'm just a humble person. I treat you how you treat me. I'm an energy person. That's what I am. When you see me in person, that's what I am. It's basically talk generally as we do. Don't think I'm better than no one. I'm just me. But I know when I do music, I just be me, and no one else can be me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way I look at things, really.
Oh, brilliant! No, I like that. What would you sort of give advice to sort of anyone now?
So my younger me. So I just I never answered the question. To the younger me, I would say, stop procrastinating. Stop thinking that you're not going to be successful. You know what I mean? Because that was me. I was thinking I'm not going to be enough successful. Why? Because one of the teachers said I'm not going to amount to nothing. Keep saying it every day. I was thinking, okay, maybe he's right. You know what I mean? When you hear it every day, you're like, oh, maybe he's right. I'm not going to amount to nothing. I might as well just do crime. You know what I mean?
I think in the bad way and also the good way, on the flip side, I kind of felt, from my own personal experience, just to mention it to the audience out there, even like what we're touching that subject that you mentioned, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But also, you're right, regardless of what you think. Because some people, just to reiterate this, if you're going to say, I can't do this or I won't, you're already telling yourself you're right, because whatever answer you give yourself, that's the right answer. So you're like a sponge or a satellite absorbing this information. So if you're telling your brain to say, I'm not going to do this, you're already allowing yourself restricting and stopping yourself from doing it because you're already telling yourself that. Whereas if you're saying, well, I want to do this, it's down of, because you feel reluctant, don't you? You think, hang on a minute, I'm apprehensive about this, rather than having a positive vibe or less apprehension in wanting to do it. You're telling yourself, nah, I don't want to do it, because you don't feel that you want to do it. But if you're telling yourself, I want to do this, do it. Because otherwise you're just contradicting. Like I said, it's either way, whatever you say, because some people get confused here. They say, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you're the one making that conscious decision. Because you're saying no, obviously you're going to go with a no. But if you say yes, you're going to do that as well. So there's no wrong answer. You're right either way you think. So it depends on which one that they say, isn't it? Like, they metaphorically speaking, when they would say the mythology of it, of a wolf. You know, you got the spiritual sort of good ethical wolf, and you got the one that wants to tear into everyone and just eat them alive. Which one are you going to feed?
I'd say the spiritual one. I'd say the spiritual one, seriously.
It's true, isn't it? You're going to go to that one that whichever one you're going to feed is the one that ends up happening. Because the more you feed to that, that's what happens. And I think sometimes, you know, because I'm not saying you have to be deep, but to sort of put it on a level plane, regardless of what we think, it's always going to be that result. It's going to be the same, because you're not going to think, if you're saying, oh, well, I did something wrong. I said, well, if you're going to repeat the same thing, of course you're going to be wrong, because you're repeating the same thing. You can't expect a different result and think, oh, if I don't change it, if I change it, oh yeah, that's right. Then obviously if you change, something else is going to give and it changes. So I think sometimes we overthink things rather than realize. It's like the same as engineers. I've noticed this. Instead of going by what is simple, we overcomplicate things by the technicalities rather than the simple parts of what we should be doing, you know. And I think the best thing is to be able to sort of to make a conscious sort of right decision is to get more information. I mentioned this to another coach that I was like a wealth coach I was speaking to a few weeks ago, and he was doing a live as well. And when I mentioned it, he said, well, no, you're right, you know, because nobody is going to be able to take control of that decision apart from you. It's only you can do that, you know. And also this blaming business as well. And I think to put in the right mindset as well, and being able to be not just in business, but also in your personal life, and you merge that together. And I totally agree with you when it comes to the environment of people. There's nothing better knowing that you're in the right environment and surrounded by those type of people. Because when they always say this, if you want to reach at this level with these sort of people, you're holding yourself back by not being able to learn from those who are already doing it or who have done it. You know, rather than someone that says, oh, okay, I haven't started yet, but I'm telling you this is how it's going to be. I thought, well, hang on a minute, you're telling me this, but you haven't done it. Whereas like yourself, you're already doing it, you've done it, you're experiencing it. So all you're doing now is trying to pass over something that you've got, that food for thought and knowledge and experience, that wealth of experience to somebody else, which is great, because that's what we should be doing, you know, passing on something positive, and also not just the positive part, but also getting something out of it, you know, in aspects of other areas. I think it's not always down to money that's involved in it. I think there's so many different aspects, other factors that are involved in these type of businesses, because I think a lot of people tend to get sidetracked by, I'm going to, all of a sudden it's a what they call it, they call it these days a get quick, you know, rich scheme, which No,
Not
it's not for you. If you're going to think you're going to get rich quick, it's not for them. You have to initially have, with these type of businesses, especially the one that you're involved in, you have to go through a process.
yeah,
Processes, you know, whether you get, like with any business, you get your highs and your lows, you know, and then you get these other experiences. And then if it suits you, I think it's good that you're doing that, because you have to be careful, even as yourself, you know, being involved in the business,
yeah.
who you choose to be part of your business too, which affects you.
Definitely, definitely. 'Cause I would say, if you're not passionate generally about helping others, you can't go forward in this business, because you have to be passionate about helping others, and secondly, teachable, as you touch bases on. So if you're not them two, with this business, you get a lot of self-development. I can safely
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah,
Self-development, that you work on yourself, you work on your own you. So that person when you was last year, the more you're surrounded by people that are like-minded and driven, the more self-development you have, and more self-belief in yourself. Because right about now, I feel unstoppable, and the team feel unstoppable. Because why? We know the bigger picture. We know our journeys of inspiring people to continue theirs. You know what I mean? Even people struggling right now in the community crisis, extra income between 200 to 300 pounds, it helps.
definitely.
You know what I mean? So literally, to be able to help somebody to be their own boss around the world is an amazing feeling. And when I connect with people online, actually going for certain things, it's good to know that I've actually kept them going in life, like not
Yeah.
going, thriving, succeed, even if they're in a situation right now, but they come to me with confidentiality to talk, keep that between them and me and them. But at the end of the day, they leave and go, "Oh, you know what, I enjoyed that conversation. I mean, no worries, I'm always here. When I got time, I know I'm a busy guy, but when I got time, I'll respond to it. It's not a problem." You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I've heard a lot of people say to me, there should be more kings like me in the world. I mean, there probably is, you know, but you know what I mean? It's like, as you says, like when you got the mindset, say, okay, I don't think I can do it. When I first joined this business, there's a lot of women in this business, and I was like, I'll just make my partner do it. You know what I mean? Just sitting back and watching and taking notes and watching
Yeah.
and taking notes.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Something snapped to me. I went, let me just put a pin post and share my story. Like, I know I'm gonna be nervous about sharing it, but I might be able to inspire a next king who's struggling right now in the world if they read it. You know what I mean? So that's why I decided to share my story. It took a lot of years for me to share my story, because I thought, oh, it feels like it's a weakness. So I'm telling people my story. From my story point of view, I've had 6 miscarriages, 1 with my son's mom, 5 with my fiance. So think about how mentally it affected as a creative as well. I wanted, at one time, I wanted to leave the world because my daughter, Jazara, I wanted to actually leave the world. I didn't want to be here anymore. That's how deep it got. I went into a deep place that I was struggling to get out of. Because I love my music, I decided to write into my music and put that pain into my music. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say definitely it's a mindset as well. But that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, because it's more than the money. Yeah, the money comes in handy, but at the end of the day, when you got residual income, so you can get paid while you're sleeping from different countries by actually helping someone to start their journey who's suffering with diabetes, help them to produce the insulin, you know, help them to go for the anxiety. They got ADHD kids. I've got in my team, I've got ADHD business partners, but they're sharing their story, inspiring others. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that we don't realize that people go through, and that's what keeps me going. It keeps me going.
That's amazing. You know, with the stories I've heard, and even like yours, it's brilliant what you're doing to keep going, because you know, a lot of the time people think, oh, it's all about business, about music. No, everyone has a story to tell, and there's always sort of questions. The reason why I have the show is to well, I mentioned this to most of the guests that I've had on the show, is to not just help inspire, but to also filter out to people that, okay, you may not be like an A-list actor or a football player or a sports personality or anything like that, or an author, but you know, those people that are doing something with themselves, like yourself, that have turned your life around, that is also regarded as a form of success. Success doesn't have to be monetary, or you're having be in a public figure. You know, success I see in my own eyes and through most people's eyes, just to put it out there to the audience, I would say is that number one, you're still here, you're alive, and you're lucky to be here. Secondly, you know, to be able to help others, you know, like they call it, pay it forward, or play it forward, or play it however you want it, pay it forward or play it forwards, however you want to word it. You're helping other people, you're passing on stuff, you know, to help them. And then if you don't know the answer, most of the time I probably know someone that knows the answer to something, or to even help them, because, you know, that kind of, I've been fortunate to be able to network with people where I didn't even realize that I actually knew before I knew them. I mentioned to you off the video, you know, some of the other guest that I spoke to is 3 times British champion bodybuilder, and it was actually his nephew that I knew several years ago, even before I knew him. How ironic is that? Our small world. And
universe,
you know, this is what I mean. And even like with yourself, you know, later on, someone might know me that knows you in the music, with your music, and they'll say to me, "Oh yeah, you know Donell," and I'm like, I thought, "How do you know Donell?" And they'll say to me, "Oh, how do you know Phil?" And then when you look, you expand out through. It's like another form of LinkedIn, but without having to emphasize the LinkedIn. You know, you're linked in some way or another through someone else without even realizing it. It's strange how the world and the way life operates and presents itself.
Yeah, definitely. I would say from another point of view, I like to make as an artist, I care about my supporters. I'm a kind of person, like, basically I want them to have longevity in their lives and their family. You know what I mean? So I know some artists, I'm not gonna name no names, some artists just wanna get that quick sponsorship and whatnot. Think about it like this, like, it's not a good feeling seeing that, because what's gonna happen to the fans in the long run?
True.
You know what I mean? They rate that person, but they're not giving the insides the right things. But because they like that person, that's an idol to them, they'll follow them. You know what I mean? So how, I don't understand how that works. So I'm saying, if I get to a certain level, I'm gonna enhance this to help more people around the world. You know what I mean?
Follow by example.
Yeah, definitely. Because end of the day, I care about them. It's not because I'm performing to you and not caring about your well-being as well. I'm performing to you, and I'm caring about your well-being, and I'm caring about you remembering the set that I'm performing on.
Oh no, that's amazing. Right, Donell, just what I'm going to do is, like I've said to many guests before you, and even as yourself, I'm really honoured that you actually came onto the show. It's been an emotional journey, and no doubt we'll probably cross paths again off the camera, and have a catch up on other areas of what you do, and no doubt that's what we'll be doing in the foreseeable future. And I just want to wrap things up and just also thank everyone else out there for when you do get onto the show and listen out for what Donell has to say, as not just a musician, as an artist, but also as a business person. It's been a pleasure having you on the Phil Carew Show. Just off the cuff, and for the foreseeable future and present time, when you actually see the actual episode of Donell and myself discussing the actual topic of business and also working life and his music, please don't forget to subscribe down below here, along underneath this video here. and I'll also add on some information in regards to what Donell's doing as well from his information that he's got. So I will attach that at the bottom here for the information that we've got under this episode that we're doing. Thank you very much once again, and I'm really honoured to have you on the Phil Carew Show, Donell, and no doubt you'll probably be on again in discussing other areas and other topics on the Phil Carew Show.
No problem.
Thanks very much, bro. Have a good one.
Man,
It's been a pleasure. Have a good one.